Command.com. Command.com is the default command line interpreter for MS-DOS, Windows 95, Windows 98, and Windows ME. In the case of DOS, it is the default user interface as well. It has an additional role as the usual first program run after boot, or init process, hence being responsible for setting up the system by running autoexec.bat configuration file and being the ancestor of all processes. Command.com's successor on OS/2 and Windows NT systems is cmd.exe, although Command.com is available in virtual DOS machines on IA32 versions of those operating systems as well. The Command.com file name was used by Disk Control Protocol, DCP, an MS-DOS derivative by the former East German VEB Robotron. The compatible command processor under FreeDOS is sometimes also named FreeCom. Command.com is a DOS program. Programs launched from Command.com are DOS programs that use the DOS API to communicate with the disk operating system. Operating modes. As a shell, Command.com has two distinct modes of operation. The first is interactive mode, in which the user types commands which are then executed immediately. The second is batch mode, which executes a predefined sequence of commands stored as a text file with the .bat extension. Internal commands. Internal commands are commands stored directly inside the Command.com binary. Thus, they are always available but can only be executed directly from the command interpreter. All commands are executed after the Enter key is pressed at the end of a line. Command.com is not case sensitive, meaning commands can be typed in a mixture of upper and lower case. Break controls the handling of program interruption with Control-C or Control-Break. CHCP displays or changes the current system code page. CHDR or CD changes the current working directory or displays the current directory. CLS clears the screen. Copy copies one file to another. If the destination file already exists, MS-DOS asks whether to replace it. See also xcopy, an external command that could also copy directory trees. CTTY defines the device to use for input and output. Date displays and sets the date of the system. Del or erase deletes a file. When used on a directory, deletes all files inside the directory only. In comparison, the external command deltree deletes all subdirectories and files inside a directory as well as the directory itself. Dir lists the files in a specified directory. Echo toggles whether the text is displayed, echo on, or not, echo off. Also displays text on the screen, echo text. Exit exits from Command.com and returns to the program which launched it. LFN4 enables or disables the return of long file names by the for command in Windows 9X. Load high, or LH, loads a program into upper memory, high load in DRDOS. Lock enables external programs to perform low-level disk access to a volume, MS-DOS 7.1 and Windows 9X only. mkdir, or MD, creates a new directory. Path displays or changes the value of the path environment variable, which controls the places where Command.com will search for executable files. Prompt displays or changes the value of the prompt environment variable, which controls the appearance of the prompt. Rename, or ren, renames a file or directory. rmdir, or rd, removes an empty directory. Set sets the value of an environment variable. Without arguments, shows all defined environment variables. Time displays and sets the current time of the system. True name displays the fully expanded physical name of a file, resolving assign, join, and sub-st logical file system mappings. Type displays the content of a file on the console. Unlock disables low-level disk access, MS-DOS 7.1 and Windows 9X only. Ver displays the version of the operating system. Verify enables or disables verification of writing for files. Vol shows information about a volume. Batch file commands. Control structures are mostly used inside batch files, although they can also be used interactively. Label defines a target for goto. Call executes another batch file and returns to the old one and continues. For iteration repeats a command for each out of a specified set of files. Goto moves execution to a specified label. Labels are specified at the beginning of a line with a colon. If conditional if statement allows branching of the program execution. Pause halts execution of the program and displays a message asking for the user to press any key to continue. Rem comment any text following this command is ignored. Shift replaces each of the replacement parameters with the subsequent one, e.g., %0 with %1 or %1 with %2, etc. If command. On exit, all external commands submit a return code, a value between 0 and 255, to the calling program. Most programs have a certain convention for their return codes, for instance, 0 for successful execution. If a program was invoked by command.com, the internal if command, with its error level conditional, can be used to test on error conditions of a last invoked external program. Under command.com, internal commands do not establish a new value. Variables. Batch files for command.com can have 4 kinds of variables. 1. Environment variables. These have the %variable % form and are associated with values with the set statement. Before DOS 3 command.com will only expand environment variables in batch mode, that is, not interactively at the command prompt. 2. Replacement parameters. These have the form %0, %1, etc., %9, and initially contain the command name and the first 9 command line parameters passed to the script, e.g., if the invoking command was myscript.bat John Doe, then %0 is myscript.bat, %1 is John, and %2 is Doe. The parameters to the right of the 9th can be mapped into range by using the shift statement. Loop variables. Used in loops, they have the %%a format when run in batched files. These variables are defined solely within a specific for statement and iterate over a certain set of values defined in that for statement. Under Novell DOS 7, OpenDOS 7.01, DiroDOS 7.02 and higher, command.com also supports a number of system information variables, a feature earlier found in 4DOS 3.00 and higher, as well as multi-user DOS, although most of the supported variable names differ. Redirection, piping, and chaining. Because DOS is a single tasking operating system, piping is achieved by running commands sequentially, redirecting to and from a temporary file. Command.com makes no provision for redirecting the standard error channel. Command left arrow file name redirects standard input from a file or device. Command right arrow file name redirects standard output, overriding target file if it exists. Command double right arrow file name redirect standard output appending to target file if exists. Command 1 pipe command 2 pipe standard output from command 1 to standard input of command 2. Command 1 paragraph symbol command 2. Commands separated by ASCII 20 paragraph symbol invoked by Control T are executed in sequence, chaining of commands. In other words, first command 1 is executed until termination, then command 2. This is an undocumented feature in command.com of MS-DOS/PC-DOS 5.0 and higher. It is also supported by command.com of the Windows NT family, as well as by DRDOS 7.07. All versions of DRDOS command.com already supported a similar internal function utilizing the exclamation mark instead, a feature originally derived from concurrent DOS and multi-user DOS. However, in the single-user line, this feature was only available internally in built-in startup scripts like !date, !time, and indirectly through DOS keys $T parameter to avoid problems with ! as a valid file name character. ForDOS supports a configurable command line separator, fordos.ini command sep equals or setdos/c, which defaults to caret. Command.com in newer versions of Windows also supports an ampersand separator for compatibility with the CMD syntax in OS/2 and the Windows NT family. CMD, however, does not support the paragraph separator. Limitations. Generally, the command line length in interactive mode is limited to 126 characters. In MS-DOS 6.22, the command line length in interactive mode is limited to 127 characters. In popular culture, the message, quote, loading command.com can be seen on a HUD view of the Terminator and on internal viewport of Robocop when he reboots. In the computer-animated children's TV series Reboot, which takes place inside computers, the leader of a system, the equivalent of a city, is called the command.com. See also IBMBio.com, IOSys, starts this command processor as the first process, shell, config.sys directive to override default command processor, comspec, environment variable, set by command.com to reload transient portion of itself, cmd line, environment variable, set by command.com to pass long command lines to external programs, ForDOS or NDOS, third-party replacement command processors, DOS shell/viewmax, alternative DOS shells, list of DOS commands, comparison of command shells, concurrent DOS, multi-user DOS, and Real32 have similar command processors not named command.com. PCMOS 386 has a similar command processor also named command.com. Transient Program Area, or TPA, area available for use either by the running application or the transient portion of command.com, and Sparta DOS X, a similar implementation for Atari computers.